UN, EU and the Human Rights Desk, along with the Tibet Museum of the Department of Information and International Relations of the Central Tibetan Administration, concluded its 11 days long speaking tour along with an exhibition on Indo-Tibet relations spanning 4 cities of Kolkata, Siliguri, Darjeeling and Gangtok across the states of West Bengal and Sikkim last month. The officers of the desk, Mr. Tenzin Gyöngken and Miss Lobsang Kyinzom, spoke about the current human rights situation in Tibet and Tibet's significance to India and the world to over 400 plus students and faculty members in these states. In today's episode of In Conversation, I am very happy to have Miss Lobsang Kyinzom, DIIR's Research and Communications Officer, with us to tell us more about the speaking tour. Welcome to our program, Kyinzom La.
Tibettv Mandela, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so to start with, I'd like to ask, the speaking tour and the exhibition was almost for 2 weeks, and you covered major part of North Bengal and Sikkim. And for the past few years, DIIR has consistently carried out a speaking tour on middle way approach focused on young Tibetans in schools and universities across India. So can you tell us how is this tour different and how did it go?
The Tibet advocacy section at the DIIR engages in Umelam outreach program along with its various programs focusing on the UN, EU, Tibet support groups, the voluntary Tibet advocacy group, and among others. And this speaking tour is one of its many outreach initiatives. And the last speaking tour happened pre-COVID in 2019, and it happened in Maharashtra and other South Indian states. This year we focused on North India, especially Sikkim and West Bengal. We were able to hold 4 seminars in these 4 different universities across Sikkim and West Bengal, and then we were also able to hold a public exhibition in Siliguri.
Can you also tell us what was the main objective of this speaking tour and why was it started from the West Bengal and Sikkim?
Well, the main objective of this speaking tour is to raise the general awareness about Tibet among Indian students and mass. Even when I was back in college, not many Indian students were informed about Tibet, the country, its ongoing colonization by China and the Tibetan cause. So we want more scholars and students, Indian students and Indian scholars, to talk more about Tibet, research more about Tibet, and write more about Tibet. That's our primary goal.
And how do you say the response was from the students and faculties of these universities? And if I also ask, what do you make of their understanding of our cause? And also for the students, what are the most common or major questions that they ask to you about Tibet?
Well, the response that we received so far has been very positive. The students and faculties, the overwhelming feedback that we received from them was that Tibet needs to be recentered when it comes to discussion about India's security and long-term stability. The faculty members and the administration of the universities that we talked to were very enthusiastic about continuing this kind of program in future and about their association with the Central Tibetan Administration. We were able to talk about the Indo-Tibetan historical ties and the implication of Tibet's status on India's present and future. We also got to talk about the current state of human rights situation in Tibet and the Chinese colonial policies in occupied Tibet. The majority of questions that we received were on understanding Tibetan government in exile, the middle way approach, and our response to China's colonial occupation.
If I may also ask, like just now you mentioned about the topic that you spoke on, the significance of Tibet to India and and you also explained why Tibet should be the key factor to consider when it comes to India's security concerns, and called for a reassessment of India's policy on Tibet. And I also like to quote from the report where you have said Tibet as well as its neighbors will be gravely affected if the PRC's government's current policies are not challenged. Can you please explain more on that?
Look at the current policies that are being enforced in occupied Tibet by China. You could see that they are using every means and they are making every attempt to eliminate Tibetans as distinct people and Tibet as a nation from the face of the world. You could consider the very sinister policy of the colonial boarding school. You could consider the attempt to control Tibetan Buddhism and their exporting of the grand narrative and manufactured propaganda on Tibet's history. Now they are trying very hard to erase Tibetan identity, and they want to legitimize their colonial occupation of Tibet, which they have failed to do for the last 7 decades. But they are continuing to achieve their colonial objectives in Tibet, and while doing so, they are also building massive dams in Tibet, which will have implication on the downstream countries of Asia, including India. And then there is the issue of militarization of the Tibetan plateau and the border aggression that China is doing across the Himalayas, including with India, which resulted in the Indo-China War in 1962.
Okay, and also since the advocacy on Tibet in Indian schools and colleges have begun in Northeast India with the recently concluded speaking tour, and would you tell us about the next speaking tour that your desks have planned for?
Well, the human rights desk of the Tibet advocacy section at the DIIR is planning to expand its outreach to Indian universities and Indian students in these Indian universities, and we are planning to come up with many such speaking tours in the future.
And one last question, what's the takeaway from this tour? I'm sure this is the first one for you, but like you said, you're planning for more. So what can be done better if you were to take the next tour?
Well, we could reach out to more Indian universities, because once we go to the region, it would be better if we could reach out to more Indian universities and more students. So the next tour, if we could reach out to more universities, that would be a good start. And I think this kind of tour is very important, because even the Indian students and scholars, they were like, the professors were like, we need such programs more. We need more of such programs in the future, because they also want to know about Tibet. They want to learn more about Tibet, and they are very curious as to Tibet's ongoing situation. And I think we should do more such programs in the future.
So Kyinzom, these are my questions. Thank you so much for coming to our program today, and it was lovely talking to you.
Thank you, Pandila.
With this, we have come to the end of today's episode of In Conversation with Tibettv. See you all in the next episode.